A recurring of the critical global events justified all warning that Karl Marx warned us about. We might say that while Smith's dreams of a fair, well-ordered market-based society look increasingly strained in 2025, Marx's warnings about exploitation, crisis, and concentration seem more plausible in view of current anomalies and breakdowns. Surplus value extraction dynamics. Capital seems to capture a growing share of income relative to labor in many places. Labor's bargaining power has weakened. This fits Marx's insight that capital tends to extract more surplus over time. Crisis tendencies and instability. The recurring inflation shocks, energy crises, financial market instability, supply chain contradictions, and debt crises echo Marx's expectation of inherent instability in capitalism. Concentration and centralization of capital. Many markets are dominated by a few large firms. Barriers to entry, monopoly or oligopoly power distort competition. Political economic capture. The way elites shape regulation, taxation, subsidies, bailouts can be seen as consistent with Marx's idea that the state serves bourgeois interests under capitalism. Alienation, precarity, fragmentation of labor. Many workers feel disconnected, unstable, lacking autonomy, forced into precarious work, gig labor, algorithmic oversight, ideas similar to Marx's alienation thesis. Welcome to Frontline Macroanalysis TV. I'm your host, Remmy, and today, we begin one of the most critical conversations of our time, a journey into the very DNA of our global economy. We live in an age of paradox. Our phones are smarter, our markets are bigger, and our productivity is higher than ever before. Yet, for millions around the world, life feels harder. The cost of food, housing, and healthcare keeps climbing, faster than our wages. Families are working longer hours just to stay afloat, while a handful of billionaires gain more wealth in a week than entire nations produce in a year. Behind this paradox lies a question that refuses to i.e., is capitalism still working for humanity, or has it begun to consume itself? To answer that, we go back to the two great minds who shaped and shook the modern world. Adam Smith, the father of capitalism, and Karl Marx, its fiercest critic. Smith saw the market as a moral engine, a place where self-interest could serve the common good. Marx saw it as a machine of exploitation, where human labor became fuel for endless profit. For 2 centuries, their ideas have battled not only in books but in the real lives of people, in factories, boardrooms, and governments. And now, in 2025, their debate is more alive than ever. Inflation has returned. Housing is unaffordable. Political trust is evaporating. Global supply chains shake with each crisis, and the gap between rich and poor has become an unbridgeable canyon. When Marx warned that capitalism carries the seeds of its own destruction, was he predicting exactly what we are witnessing today? In this special episode, we are not just revisiting their theories, we are testing them against the real world we live in. We'll ask, times what did Adam Smith get right about human progress? Times what did Karl Marx foresee about inequality and power? Times, and most importantly, can we find a balance between freedom and fairness, between profit and purpose? This is not a history lesson. It's a wake-up call. Because every price we pay, every election we watch, and every protest we see traces its roots back to the systems they imagined centuries ago. Whether we realize it or not, we are all living in the world Smith built, and struggling with the consequences Marx warned us about. So find a quiet place, grab a cup of coffee, and let's take the next half hour to explore the eternal clash between capitalism and socialism, between Smith's invisible hand and Marx's revolutionary fist. I'm Remmy, and this is Frontline Macroanalysis TV. Let's begin. But first, please subscribe to Frontline Macroanalysis TV as a thank you while you do so to help us to bring more content to you, knowing we are not alone. Who was Adam Smith? Adam Smith, born in 1723 in Scotland, wrote The Wealth of Nations, a book that changed human history. He believed in economic freedom, private property, and the invisible hand, a natural force that balances markets through self-interest and competition. Well, at least before men behind the masks took over and hijacked democracies and put all politicians on their payroll so they can sell out their citizens. According to Smith, when individuals pursue their own gain, they unintentionally create prosperity for all. A baker doesn't bake bread out of charity, he bakes to earn profit. Yet in doing so, he feeds the community. Smith's capitalism rests on three core principles. S. Self-interest, people seek their own advantage. E. Competition, keeps prices low and quality high. H. Limited government, the state should enforce justice, protect property, and build public goods, but not interfere in trade. E. To Smith, capitalism was not greed, it was freedom. A decentralized system that harnesses human ambition to drive collective wealth. But Smith also warned, yes, warned, that unchecked greed and monopolies could distort the system. He wrote that people of the same trade seldom meet together without conspiring against the public. Sound familiar? Aya? Who was Karl Marx? Fast forward a century later. Karl Marx, born in 1818 in Germany, lived during the Industrial Revolution, a time when factory workers labored 14 hours a day for starvation wages, while industrialists built EMPs. Marx looked at capitalism and saw not freedom, but exploitation. He argued that workers produce value, but capitalists steal a portion of it, what he called surplus value. In simple terms, the boss pays you less than what your labor is truly worth, and keeps the difference as profit. Today, we are living this testament. Corporations report billions of dollars in profit while we, the working people, barely make enough to feed our families. Marx believed this exploitation was not accidental, it was structural. It is so apparent today, especially that there is a huge mismatch between salaries and expenses to live. Capitalism, he argued, divides society into two classes: the bourgeoisie, owners of capital, land, and fa. Tories, the proletariat, workers who sell their labor to survive. He predicted capitalism would collapse under its own contradictions. Competition would lead to monopolies. Wealth would concentrate in few hands. Workers would face alienation, instability, and poverty. And when inequality reached a breaking point, workers would revolt. They would abolish private ownership of production and establish socialism, the first step toward a classless society. Comparing the two visions, let's put them side by side. Aspect 1, harm and nature. Adam Smith, rational, self-interested, but moral. Karl Marx, shaped by material conditions and class struggle. Aspect 2, system. Adam Smith, markets and private property. Karl Marx, collective ownership and planned reduction. Aspect 3, role of government. Adam Smith, minimal, protect liberty, justice. Karl Marx, transitional tool, then wit. Here's a way. Aspect 4, grow. Engine. Adam Smith, division of labor, competition. Karl Marx, labor itself, but distorted by exploitation. Aspect 5, mora. Outlook. Adam Smith, freedom through markets. Karl Marx, freedom from exploitation. Strengths and weaknesses. Smith's strengths. He understood incentives. He foresaw that open trade and competition drive innovation. He recognized moral limits, that empathy, trust, and law are essential to markets. But his weaknesses. He underestimated power concentration. He assumed competition would always stay fair. He couldn't foresee global corporations and digital monopolies. Marx's strengths. He uncovered how capital exploits labor. He predicted crises, automation, and wealth concentration. He revealed how the political system often serves economy. See elites. But Marx's weaknesses. He underestimated capitalism's adaptability. He offered little guidance on how socialism would function efficiently. And the 20th century showed how revolutions in his name could create tyranny instead of freedom. The woe. RLD today. Now, let's fast forward to 2025. Across the world, people are struggling with rising cost of living, housing shortages, corruption scandals, corporate power, declining trust in democracy. Does this vindicate Karl Marx? In many ways, yes. Inequality. The top 1% own more wealth than the bottom 60%. Marx said capitalism naturally concentrates capital, and we are seeing that in real time. Political capture. Billionaires fund political campaigns and lobby for tax loopholes. Marx would say the state now reflects bourgeois interests, alienation. Millions work long hours in gig jobs, monitored by algorithms, with no sense of control or purpose, precisely the alienation Marx described. Economic crises, inflation, debt bubbles, and market volatility show capitalism's instability. But let's be fair, Smith's defenders could argue. Global capitalism lifted billions out of poverty. Markets, despite imperfections, fuel innovation. And many crises come from politics, wars, or poor policy, not capitalism itself. Both points are valid. Yet the system's current trajectory suggests that Marx's warnings about exploitation and decay were not paranoid. They were prophetic. What can we learn? From Smith, we learn the value of freedom, competition, and moral responsibility. From Marx, we learn that freedom without fairness breeds collapse. The world of 2025 might need a synthesis, not pure capitalism or socialism, but a moral economy, where markets exist, but within ethical and social limits. Profit is balanced by responsibility. Governments curb excess power and protect labor. In other words, we need Smith's invisible hand, but guided by Marx's conscience. So, was Karl Marx right? Maybe not entirely. But he saw the fault lines that we are standing on today. If Adam Smith built the house of capitalism, Karl Marx saw the cracks forming in its foundation. The rising cost of living, the political corruption, the billionaire class, they are not random. They are symptoms of deeper contradictions that neither markets nor politicians have fully solved. The challenge for our generation is not to repeat old ideologies, but to reimagine an economic system that values both prosperity and justice. Thank you for joining Frontline Macroanalysis TV. If you enjoyed this discussion, subscribe, leave a comment, and share your thoughts. Was Marx a prophet or a pessimist? Was Smith a visionary or a dreamer? All I know is that I am living the reality of capitalism screw-up, bad leadership, and stuck in a corrupt system produced by capitalism. Mass control and slave labor conditions. When corporations mess up, we the ordinary people pay the price. When leadership and markets fail, again we pay the price. However, when a profit is reported, no one remember the ordinary people who made it happen. Until next time, I'm Remmy. Stay informed, stay critical, and stay free.